Hey guys, welcome back to Talking with Tyler. And on today's podcast, I'm going to be giving my NFL predictions with special guest Ilias Schechter. Welcome to the show, Ilias. You are Talking with Tyler.
Hi, Tyler. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor. This should be a lot of fun talking about the NFL awards.
Yes, it will be. And first off, I want to talk about the MVP. It's going to be a heated race this year. I think it's going to be Josh Allen, in my opinion. Josh Allen won MVP last year. He does it all. He does rushing, passing, and he is a reason why they are always a top contender, the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. Who do you have going for the MVP?
I mean, me personally, I actually have Joe Burrow. If he could stay healthy, I think that Bengals team could definitely be scary. He has two great wide receivers with him, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. He's shown in this league he could take the Bengals places. And I think Joe Burrow, he should be definitely the MVP in my opinion. I think he's got more of like an offense than Josh Allen. I think he has more help. And yeah, I think Joe Burrow will take the MVP there over Josh Allen.
Yeah, Joe Burrow is definitely up there. I think Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase, I think Jamar Chase is really going to give him that upper hand. I think I did say Josh Allen, but I think Joe Burrow is definitely going to be second in my eyes. Joe Burrow having Jamar Chase, he has not had a single season without less than 1,000 yards for Jamar Chase, and that leads into my next award, the Offensive Player of the Year, and I think that goes to Jamar Chase pretty easily. I think Jamar Chase, leading wide receiver, pretty much mostly every single season for the past 5 years. So I think Jamar Chase is going to have that award. Who do you have going for the Offensive Player of the Year?
So Offensive Player of the Year, I actually have the running back out of Detroit, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he just signed his contract. He's motivated. They have a good O-line. Now he's not going to be splitting carries with David Montgomery. Now he's going to be like the official running back. He's going to be getting more carries. I think that he's one of the fastest players in the league. He's explosive. He was my number one pick in fantasy this year. So I think that he's definitely going to win the Offensive Player of the Year. I like where he's coming out of Detroit. They got a good offense over there. Dan Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs has been lighting up the past 2 years, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He started off slow, but now he's on uphill. He's starting to get much better, and the offense has always been top in the league with Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff, pretty veteran quarterback right there. I think he has Amon-Ra St. Brown on the offense. I think the Detroit Lions offense is going to be a team to watch out for in the NFC this year. And that leads to my next award, the Defensive Player of the Year. And I think I'm going to give it to Myles Garrett. Now with the Los Angeles Rams, Myles Garrett went off last year from sacks. Now with his new team, the Los Angeles Rams, it looks like Aaron Donald actually wants to come back and join him out of retirement. I mean, he's been working out with the team, so I think Myles Garrett's going to feel more comfortable having a more energized defense, and I think that's going to be Myles Garrett. What do you think?
Yeah, I also have Myles Garrett. I mean, I think he's definitely a top 5 defensive player of all time, in my opinion, as well, and he's still playing. I think he's going to be more motivated now. He's not in Cleveland where they're losing all the time. He's with the Rams. They're going to looks like Aaron Donald's going to join back, actually, as Aaron Donald's been going to training camp recently. But Myles Garrett, he's now going to be winning a lot more games with the Rams. I think in Cleveland, he wasn't as motivated, and he still put up so much good numbers. But in Cleveland, they weren't winning. And now in Los Angeles, he's going to be like, okay, I have something to play for. He's going to win the Defensive Player of the Year.
100%. And now I want to talk about your team, the Washington Commanders. Sonny Styles, I think I have him taking Defensive Player of the Year this year, or Defensive Rookie of the Year, excuse me. I think he's coming out of Ohio State, a really great football school right there. They won the national championship in 2024. I think he just likes to attack the quarterback, 56 tackles in his last season with Ohio State. So I have Sonny Styles taking Defensive Rookie of the Year. What do you think?
Yeah, I love Sonny Styles, and this one hurts me to say, but I don't think he's actually going to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think it's going to be Caleb Downs out of OSU. His final year, he had 68 total tackles. 45 of those were actually solo, by the way. He had 1 pass defended, and he had 1 sack. He also had 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. I mean, he's an athletic freak out there. He showed it during his final year at Ohio State. I think that it's going to come down to him and Sonny Styles, but I think Caleb Downs will actually have the edge over Sonny Styles, unfortunately for me.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help the Cowboys defense out a lot. And now I want to talk about the offensive rookie of the year. And it's definitely, in my eyes, it's going to be a top guy right there. Top, number one overall pick, Fernando Mendoza. The Raiders had a struggling quarterback last year and Geno Smith. That's the reason why they got the first overall pick. They only had 2 wins. And now that Fernando Mendoza comes in there, he makes these tight passes that no other quarterback I have seen make. For this young of a guy, he has really impressed me a lot. And that was the reason why they won the national championship in 2026. I think Fernando Mendoza is going to lead this Raiders team to maybe a wild card spot. Who knows? Because they play in a tough AFC West division. Who do you have taking offensive rookie of the year?
Yeah, I can definitely see Mendoza taking the offensive rookie of the year, but I actually have Jordan Tyson coming from ASU to the Saints. I like that New Orleans paired him with Shuck because I think Shuck was honestly, I think he's the best quarterback out of that draft class from last year over Cam Ward and Jackson Dart. I think the Saints are going to be I think they're going to win their division this year, the South. And his stats from his final year at OSU were really good. He had 61 receptions, 711 yards, 8 TDs, and the year before that he had an even better year, 8 TDs, he had 1,100 yards. And I think that I just like what I see out of him personally. And I think pairing him with Chris Olave, he'll have more momentum. I think he'll just be motivated out of this guy. So another guy could be Cardinal Tate, but I just don't see it, honestly. And I think Jordan Tyson is honestly just a better receiver.
Great takes, Elias. Now I want to talk about the Super Bowl. It's a pretty early decision knowing who's going to win the Super Bowl this year, but it's August. It's pretty much, we know our teams. We know who's going to be on each team. And I want to start first by saying I think the Super Bowl, 2 teams that are going to face off against each other. I think it's going to be, for the NFC side, it's going to be the Los Angeles Rams. They have Puka Nacua, an outstanding wide receiver. And also now their defense is revamped, as we just were talking about. Myles Garrett and Jared Goff. We just saw what they did last year. I think they made a deep playoff run. And I think the Los Angeles Rams have what it takes to win the NFC, and now for the AFC, I have the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix has lit it up in his rookie season, and now he has some help. He's just their offense has been outstanding. If he stays healthy, this Broncos team is going to win the AFC, and in the end, I have the Rams. I think just the Rams I just was talking about, they have what it takes. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
So I actually have the same exact game. I have Rams-Broncos. I don't think people are giving the Broncos enough love after that AFC Championship loss. They have to understand that Stidham was their quarterback in their game. If they had Bo Nix in that game, I bet you they win that game, and they're going to the Super Bowl against the Seahawks. But I think after that injury, people are kind of sleeping on the Broncos here more, and they're favored in other teams over them. But I think that the Rams will win the NFC. They have one of the best defenses in the NFL, if not the best defense in the NFL. Also, the Broncos have one of the best defenses in the NFL. They have the Rams have great offense with 2 studs at wide receiver. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Good running back with Kyron Williams. The reigning MVP at quarterback, Matthew Stafford. And also, there's talks about Aaron Donald coming back. And you also got Myles Garrett this offseason. The defense looks stacked, and it's looking good for the Rams right here. And so with the Broncos. The Broncos just got Jalen Waddle from the Dolphins. I like Jalen Waddle as their wide receiver 1 now, and I think the Broncos will actually be a dangerous team coming this year.
100%. And thank you so much, Elias, for coming on the show. Any final thoughts before we close things out? And where can people find you out on social media? I know you run the Shex Sports podcast. Where can people find you on social media? I know I follow you, but for the people that don't know.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram for Shex Sports Podcast on Instagram. We're trying to build our stuff up. We're getting more popular every day, and it's really fun doing it. I like podcasting. This was really fun. Thank you, Tyler, for having me on.
Of course, Elias. Hope you had glad you had fun, and hope to do this in the future again. Thank you guys all for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. Bye, guys.